Okay, today I'd like to speak to you guys about one of the most common problems that I find in repairing computers. I've been repairing computers now for about 22 years. One of the biggest problems I run up against all the time is I'll get a phone call and people will tell me that the PC just shut off. It's usually two things that do that. Either the power supply goes bad or it's an overheating issue. A lot of times it's overheating issues. The machines are typically 3 to 4 years old, sometimes 2 years old, sometimes as much as only 4 to 6 months old. So what happens in the computer, you have your main processing chip. This is the brain right here. That is the brain. That's what the brain looks like in your computer. See all the little gold pins on this side? Well, that plugs into the motherboard like that. So what happens is these things run really hot. They can get up 140, 160, 180. They'll go up to 200 degrees, and then this chip will just melt, and then your computer's no good anymore. It's the same thing as if you have a radiator in your car and all the fluid leaks out, and what happens? The radiator overheats, and you've got steam coming out, and there your wife is on the side of the parkway, you know, probably with a blown motor now. So same scenario with this. So what you have here, this is what we call a heat sink right here. This is a brand new part right here. This is for an AMD processor. Okay, you can see the little bottom piece right there, and you can see all the little fins and the fan here. Well, what this does, the chip, this heat sink sits on the chip like this, just like that. Okay, and there's a little thermal paste that goes, you can see that gray stuff right there. There's a little thermal paste. The thermal paste is conductive, and it draws the heat off the chip. Now this big aluminum heat sink right here continues to conduct the heat off of this little chip right here, and the fan actually spins like this and then pulls the heat off of the heat sink. It's like a heat exchanger, right? So what happens is, so many times I'll open a computer up and this is what you see. You see a fan like that, all totally ratted up, full of dirt and grime and everything. And like this one that I just repaired, I'm going to show you right now. This fan was actually out like this. Okay, this fan right here, and it was laying on the bottom of the computer case because it got totally fried, busted apart, laid down. So the heat sink had no working fan on it. This couldn't keep up with the cooling on the processor, and that's what it was doing. It was shutting down. Okay. The one good thing is, in the computer, they usually have a thermal switch that, you know, once these chips reach a certain temperature, it'll shut the machine down. But what happens is everybody keeps restarting them, and it'll run for maybe another 15-20 minutes, and, you know, it'll freeze up again. So this is the most common problem, one of the most common problems that I run into repairing PCs. So what you want to do is you want to keep this thing real clean here, because these all get clogged up and it reduces the cooling, and that's where you get these freeze ups, and you'll be in the middle of doing Excel or browsing or something, and all of a sudden the computer just locks. Well, 90% of the time it's a heat issue. I mean, sometimes it is software, but most of the time it's a heat issue. So it's really important to open up your PC, take the compressed air cans, make sure it's unplugged, of course, and blow these fans out. I like to clean them with a little older toothbrush, okay, and make sure you blow all the dust out of these fins, okay? So this is just a real rudimentary procedure here to keep your PC running smoothly. You do not have to take this heat sink off. You do not have to unplug the fan off the motherboard. It'll just be sitting in there. You hit it with the compressed air, blow it all out, clean it up, fire it back up, you're good to go. You should really change the fan and the heatsink about every 3 years on your PC if you want to retain your investment. It's really a shame to blow up a PC for a $20 part. Okay, so I hope this was helpful, everybody. Hope you learned something today, and thanks for watching. Ken Bacon from Roadrunner Computer Services. Thanks, and have a great day.